Just had to dive in really fast because we were only given 30 days
Wow.
to get it pushed out, to learn it, and to get it implemented. But we made it work, and it's successful. So that was a challenge, but it was a tight timeline,
Wow.
but we did it. And
Hello, and welcome to Behind the Screens, IT at ND, the podcast that takes you behind the scenes of the IT solutions consultants at the University of Notre Dame.
Here, we explore the challenges they face, the innovative solutions they provide, and the tips and tricks that can help you make the most out of your technology. I'm Deanna, IT support technician with the service desk.
And I'm Scooter, Director of Information Technology for the College of Arts and Letters. We're thrilled to have you with us today. Our guests today are from the Development Office's IT and Services team. First, we have Rose Michalski, the IT Support Services Associate Program Director, and we have Andrew Yocum, the Associate Director of Integration Services. Welcome, Rose and Andrew.
thank you.
Thank you. Before we start, we'd like to have each of you tell us a little about your current role and the journey that brought you here. Like, how long have you been at the university? How and when did you move into your current role? Why don't we start with Rose?
Okay, thank you for the opportunity to share a little bit about my role in IT consultancy in the development office. My work spans a wide range of responsibilities, including but not limited to supporting AV technologies in our conference rooms at Eddy Street Commons and Grace Hall, preparing and assigning equipment for new employees, monitoring and deploying CWP machines. We do about 75 per year, ensuring Windows security compliance is met, account provisioning and deprovisioning for Ascend, webinar creation and support, Google Groups and shared drive audits when people leave. That's part of the offboarding process. Resolving ServiceNow incidents, tasks, and requests. ServiceNow asset management, and a little bit of project planning and implementation.
Never a dull day, huh?
Never a dull day. My journey to this role has been a long and fulfilling one. I've been at Notre Dame for 41 years.
41 years? Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
41 years.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. 37 of those have been in the development office. I started at the Morris Inn as a front desk receptionist, and Father Ted Hesberg was the president of the university at that time. After a few years, I moved on into a gift processing role in the development office, and somewhere along the line, I found myself captivated by technology. I wanted to learn more, so a colleague, and now a very good friend of mine, let me use her PC during lunch breaks to learn WordPerfect through tutorials. I only had a terminal at my desk when I was a gift processor. After getting a good grip on word processing, I accepted a role as an administrative assistant and then moved on to be the letter shop coordinator and eventually the department go-to for anything technology related.
Well, that sounds like a common story
Yeah.
for a lot of us, I think. So start in some other field, show a little bit of tech savviness, and boom, now you're in trouble.
Yeah. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
As the department grew and the technology responsibilities increased, I transitioned to being solely the department computer consultant. In 2006, I was promoted to be the development help desk manager and ultimately to my current position as associate program director for IT support services. Over the years, I've worked through 5 fundraising campaigns, from a strategic moment to generations, then spirit, then boldly, and now for good. Campaigns typically span 7 to 10 years, and thanks to our outstanding university relations team, we've consistently surpassed our campaign goals. And after a long and fulfilling career at Notre Dame, I will be
Oh my
retiring on
gosh.
July 31st.
Oh, that's the big
Wow.
announcement. Congratulations. There it
Thank
is.
you.
Yeah. Wow.
Congratulations,
And
Rose.
I mean, just hearing
Thank
about your journey,
you.
that's amazing. And what a special experience to have worked through Father Ted's presidency. And I know you mentioned previously you got the opportunity to meet him, so that's what a blessing. What about you, Andrew? Can you tell us a little more about your current role and the journey that brought you here?
Yeah, sure. So I've been at Notre Dame for 18 years now, not as long as Rose, but a decent amount of time.
Yeah.
I previously worked in yeah, I'm working on it. I'm not quite ready to retire yet either, but looking forward to it as well. Yeah. Previously, I worked in the corporate world doing software development. I used to drive by Notre Dame every day on my way to work, my other job, and I was like, I want to work there someday. And my faith was important to me, and I thought, well, that would be neat to work there. And so I've been in development now for the whole time. I've been working here for the 18 years. Students started doing basic reporting just with the tools they had, and it was a very simple time back then. And then we started moving into data warehousing while I was here, and we started collecting a lot more data. Then we started doing more advanced reporting with that data warehouse, and I've been doing that did that for many years. And now we're doing on the integration side of things, and our IT teams moving development's data around internal and external systems. Some external vendors use our data to work with our alumni systems as well, and we share that data throughout the university as well.
I imagine you guys are both, part of a relatively big team. Can you describe your IT teams for us? Like, we always ask all the consultants, like, how many people are on the team? What are their roles, et cetera, et cetera. So what's the context you're working in, Rose?
The information technology and services team is made up of two major branches. The IT support services, which is led by me, and it includes Alex Servin. He's the IT solutions consultant. He actually reports to Andy Janatsky with a dotted line to me, and then two student workers. We focus on end user support, hardware, software provisioning, AV technology, and just day-to-day operational IT needs. I will now turn it over to Andrew to talk about the data side of our team.
Yeah, so the other side of our team has a total of about 20 development IT, which is a lot for an external from OIT services. So we have our groups in three main groups besides Rose's team. We have an application services team, and they do our Salesforce administration, and they do development in that system. They support the Ascend system, which is development's current CRM. And then they also support CRM ND, which is development's previous CRM system that is still used by other departments on campus. They also support Marketing Cloud, which is a tool to communicate with our constituents, our external constituents. Then I'm on the integration team myself, and what we do is we move data between external and internal systems at Notre Dame and external vendors, like I mentioned before. We build and maintain the jobs that execute our processes in development IT as well in general for any kind of data processing, data tweaking, just moving data or getting data ready for reporting. And then my team also does some Salesforce development with some Apex. Then we have a BI team, which is also involved in our data warehouse, and they prepare data for our data mart, which gets data ready for reporting. And there's a lot of business logic that we apply in that system to prepare our data from our original raw data systems and to be ready for reporting. And then we have our reporting and analytics team, and they take all that data that's been prepared from the other teams and they report on it to our constituents using Tableau. They use business objects, and sometimes they just do ad hoc data requests from various partners, internal and external from development. So that's a part where we touch other places on campus. And then we already spoke with Rose about her support services team.
Wow, I have to imagine, you can almost visualize all this data just sort of flying around, flinging from place to place. I mean, the number of systems you're talking about, the importance of all the different reporting. I imagine it's almost, you can almost see it in the air in the office.
There's a lot flying around everywhere, and a lot of people touch the data before it ends up in its final place. Yeah. It's neat.
If I had a nickel for the amount of times you said data in that answer.
Yeah, that's all we do. Yeah,
that's awesome, and thank you for laying it out like that. It really paints a good picture of what you do with your team and even the other teams involved in your part of development. So Rose, can you tell us a little bit more about how maybe you and Alex and your student workers share your responsibilities and kind of divide that work?
Sure, we talk pretty much every day. Each of us doing what is best fits our day, dividing up the workload and addressing the higher priority items first. Typical of OIT, we can plan our work for the day, and then something comes up and we have to shift gears very quickly and, address the other things at a different time. But we're pretty much ready to just address what comes at us at a moment's notice. And Alex is more hands-on with the customers. He enjoys consulting and process improvement work. I do more remote desktop since I work from home, and I do all the managing and assigning of the workload.
So what's the dynamic in the development office among faculty, staff, students? I know, like over here in Alco, people would think that we would support students directly, but we don't. I mean, we're just supporting faculty and staff. Um, what are you doing over in development? Are you supporting all three, or who do you talk to?
As far as Alex and I go and the students, we only support the development staff. That's pretty much what we do, but I'll let Andrew share what they do.
And how many folks is that? I mean, how many folks are in development?
Right now, we're showing 419 employees with 58 teams.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So you, Alex, and two students are doing break fix for 419. Wow. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Andrew, sorry.
Yeah, so the rest of the data side of the team, we mostly support development as well, but we also work a lot with the Alumni Association. The Alumni Association and development are both under the University Relations organizational structure. So we work with them a lot because we share the same, very similar data. So we provide also some data to campus partners. So like say the School of Science wants to contact all alumni from their department who graduated in 2020. So development keeps those relationships with those alumni, and we keep those contact methods with those alumni, so we can help those other schools and other departments contact those people. Then also we do academic reports for donations that other departments may get that also flow through development, and so they may need a report on what kind of donations did my department get this month for the School of Arts and Letters, for say, and we can tell them how much they got.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Nice. So we hear a lot about the development office, and I mean, I know there's a lot more to it than just some offices on Eddy Street Commons. Can you tell us a little more about what makes development so unique?
So everyone thinks development, when they hear development, they just think automatically, oh, fundraising. When they hear development, but it's so much more than that. There are, like I said, 58 teams total, and too many of them to call out because I don't want to leave one of them out. So I'm not going to mention the 58
We're looking
teams.
for the entire list.
Yeah, my memory.
But each area contributes a critical piece to the overall success of the fundraising efforts in development.
Yeah, so I would just add that, like I mentioned before, the development office is unique in that we maintain the relationships with alumni after they graduate, which also includes parents of current and graduated students, as well as friends of Notre Dame, people that don't have any direct connection, but they just love Notre Dame and they want to be in contact with us. So that's what we do. Our IT, we have a lot of data to help support those relationships. And this also includes relationships with donors who want to support Notre Dame's mission through financial support as well. And then more specifically, that's unique about development, we're just a very large IT organization outside of central IT. So that makes us pretty unique, that we have a lot of the same types of people and skill sets that the central IT has, but in a little bit smaller format.
Yeah, excellent. So one question we ask almost everybody that we have on is to address what IT consultancy is in your area. One of the things that this podcast and a few other initiatives on campus is trying to do are help our consultants figure out what do they have in common and what is unique between the different areas. So in the development office, and maybe this is for you, Rose, you say Alex has that IT solutions consultant title. What is consultancy in your area?
So we provide comprehensive technology support and solutions, both hardware and software, to ensure our department systems are secure, current, and aligned with the university policies. We address break-fix incidents, manage conference room AV equipment and calendars, and help implement major campus-wide technology changes. Our goal is to ensure that every user has the tools they need to succeed in their roles. This includes provisioning appropriate hardware and software, provisioning user accounts for system access, as well as connecting individuals with subject matter experts across campus IT with when specialized support is needed. We also serve as department liaisons to Central OIT, helping ensure compliance with campus-wide technology standards and initiatives, and we're constantly exploring ways to improve and streamline our
And I
processes.
imagine that connection piece with OIT and with others on campus is extremely important given the size of development IT and the nature of the work. Um, so,
Yes, very important. We reach out to our OIT experts a
yeah,
lot.
don't we all? Hey, so Andrew, is there anybody on your side of the house that has got that solutions consultant title? I'm imagining you're more data sort of folks. Is that correct? Or
We yeah, we are, but we're always consulting
hmm
with our constituents on, okay, so you have a new data request. You want a new report. So then we get in a room with you and there's lots of that consultancy on here. Okay, well you want this, let's shift it this way and here's a better way to do it, or we already have this data, we can get this for you a little
mm,
faster. So that kind of request is always for anybody on our teams, our data teams, in how we store the data, how you see the data, how the data flows through your systems. We're always working with the constituents to set up their new systems or their new flows and to get what they need in the best way.
Hmm. And we've gone a lot about the work that you guys do and how it's divided and all of that. But can you, Rose, we'll start with you. Can you tell us a typical day of your work life and yeah, how you carry on week to week?
Sure, every day is very different, of course, in the IT
Hmm.
world. But a typical day for me starts out with, responding to emails and chats. That's all day long, as it is for everyone else. Monitoring and addressing ServiceNow incidents. I'm always in ServiceNow, making sure that we're meeting our SLA and that the provisioning tasks when they're due, making sure that they're done the day before. Asset management, new hire new hire departures and new hires and departures, CWP prep and deployments. Almost every week, we're provisioning and deprovisioning. Of course, meetings. Everyone's got meetings every day, and just managing the workload and assigning the work to either Alex or the students or myself. Whatever fits the person best for what their day is looking like.
And what about you, Andrew? What does your day look like?
Yeah, so I'm going to represent a lot of different teams. So I was thinking like maybe an example. We have a lot of moving
Yeah.
parts here, right? For like data maintenance and reporting. So like an example might be, say they want to collect a new piece of data in one of our CRM systems, and that data eventually is going to flow through all of our teams.
Hmm.
Like the application services team will make the changes in the CRM system to make that field available for them to enter data, or maybe that data is flowing in from somewhere else, but it's got to start in the CRM system, our system of truth. And then the data integration team, that's my team, that will start getting that data flowing from that original system down to our data warehouse. That's step two of that. Then our BI team will apply some business logic to that data, and they'll get it ready for the reporting team to use it in our reporting database. And then from there, our reporting team will take that data and add it to whatever reports are needed or dashboards or wherever that data needed to end up, and then train our constituents to use that data. And then day to day, there's also lots of bugs in those
what?
processes. So we
Oh
fix bugs too.
no.
No, there are
Yeah.
no bugs
So
in any systems anywhere.
plenty.
So, I mean, the both of you sound incredibly busy. But if someone shadowed you for a day, if they followed around behind you, what part of the job do you think would surprise them the most?
Yeah, for me, I'd have to say the complexity of provisioning and deprovisioning users. It's a very time-consuming process with a lot of steps. So, and it really depends on the day, though. Tuesdays, for instance, often include CWP
Mm.
deployments, and we have really streamlined that process. We now can do 8 to 10 in a day, where we used to do two
Wow,
a
great.
day with the old process. So yeah, we've really made some that really came about after the pandemic, when we had like 150 machines we had to deploy within like a 7-month time frame, just because no one was able to
Right.
get their machines. during the purchasing freeze, and then of course everyone was working from home. So when we came back to the office and we realized, oh my gosh, we've got 150 machines that we've got to get out in like 7 months' time. So we streamlined the process, and it went so well. We got those 150 completed in probably 6 months' time, and we're like, hey, we need to just keep this
Right.
process. This process is working so well. So and then Fridays are usually the account provisioning for people that start on Mondays. We need to make sure their accounts are ready for them on Monday morning. And then usually Fridays are people's last day too. If they're leaving, they usually leave on a Friday. So we do a lot of
Mm.
deprovisioning on Fridays. So
Wow, excellent. And Andrew, what would surprise somebody the most if they were following you around for a day?
Yeah, so the things that I think would be surprising is just the number of steps this data goes through to actually get to wherever it needs to end up, right? There's just so many steps. The number of calculations that are done nightly to build our reporting data, just generally, the amount of things that have to go right for things to all work. And it's kind of a miracle sometimes, but it works.
You mean I
It's
can't
good.
just ask for a field and it just like magically shows up minutes later?
Yeah, right. Right. It's yeah, a little bit more difficult than that.
Oh. And so what are some of the tools that like you guys use in your work? I meant Rose, you mentioned a lot of ServiceNow. Are there other tools you use?
yes, aside from ServiceNow, we definitely use Mecum
Mm.
and Jamf, Active Directory, Ascend, Trello, Tango. It's hoteling software. Google Group, shared drives and calendars, and AV equipment is mainly our tools, our main
So tell
Mhm.
tools.
me, you said Tango is hoteling software. What exactly does it do, and what's the case that you're trying to solve?
Mhm.
Well, we have way more people than we
Okay.
have space. So so we have a lot of collaborative areas where, they're it's not really reservable spaces, but they're just, round tables and couches and things like that where people can just go in and go do their work. But if the fundraisers or other people that most people don't have
Hmm.
assigned desks or offices, so we have we call it the library area. It's contains 24 reservable spots with 34-inch wide monitors, and there's a QR code on the desk, and all they need to do is just walk up, scan it with their phone, and they can reserve the desk for an hour, 2 hours, the entire day. It just makes it makes securing a spot if you're going to be in that day and you need to do some real focus work. It allows them to very easily reserve a spot just by walking up to the desk and scanning the
Can
QR
we come
code.
over and scan the QR code and sit at one of your desks? That sounds like a great environment.
Actually, you have to be in our
Oh,
system. You have to be in the
darn.
Tango system. Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah. So
So when we provision and deprovision, we also have to add users to Tango and take users out of Tango. So you have to be, listed in Tango as a user in order to scan the software and use it,
Okay.
or
yeah,
scan the
sure.
QR code and use it.
So Andrew, I mean, some of the things we expect you to be doing are some of the database work and CRMs, but where do you have what are you doing all day? What are you in?
Yeah, so we talked about the CRM tool we use is Ascend, which sits on
Hmm.
top of Salesforce. So Salesforce on a couple of ours, and then our main database is
Hmm.
Snowflake. It's a big warehouse database that we do a lot of our data flows through there. We do job execution, which is moving this data around between these systems. We use Talend for that, and then for reporting, the other teams use Tableau and Business Objects.
Excellent. So this is probably more for Rose, but I want to ask you how much does your team use the service desk? Are they incorporated into your workflows at all?
We try to get our users to call the OIT help desk first before reaching out to us. A lot of times people will just send us a chat
Hmm.
or an email, and if it's something we know we can answer like super quick, we'll just respond, via the chat or the email. But if we realize it's something that can take some time, or we don't have the time because we're busy doing something else, we ask them to please call the OIT help desk. Um, We also have announced that many times in what's called the blog post. It's a post that goes out in development, and Sound Off, which is a newsletter that goes out to our department. We try to plug that in every now and then as a reminder so that users will start getting used to just calling the OIT help
Mhm.
desk first. But we're still working on trying to get that to happen
I
more
understand that
often.
that's a problem that comes up when you're too friendly to your users. So that they reach out to you first. That the ones who are less friendly, yeah, you get service desk calls sooner.
I will have to make sure I
That's right.
tell Alex that
That's
too.
right. Pro tip right there.
Yes.
Andrew, is there some way that you're making use of the service desk?
Yeah, well, so we don't use a service desk. We use
Yeah.
ServiceNow, though, the tool, and we actually do track all of our changes in that tool. Where we want to like make a new field in their CRM system, we'll track that change there. Or if we want to, send some data requests somewhere, we still track it there. We are actually moving to a tool called Agile Accelerator, which is in our Salesforce instance, instead of doing those in ServiceNow. But that's a new thing we're developing now.
So you guys have both talked about a lot of work that's really different from the work lots of other parts of campus do. But could you call out a few particularly unique issues that you each support? Let's start with Rose.
Sure. I would say for development, we do a lot of webinar creation and support. So far this year, we've set up 23 webinars and supported them. We also have JP Morgan check scanners located at Grace Hall, Eddy Street Commons, and now in the main building and in athletics. So that's something a little different than what most areas support. And Notre Dame Day.
Oh
Notre Dame
boy.
Day. Nobody else
Right?
supports Notre Dame Day except for development. So that's quite something
Yeah.
unique for sure. And our collaborative tech spaces, because we have so little space with so many people, just those collaborative spaces in that library area with reserving, those are unique things, I think, for development
Yeah, we
versus
certainly
other
don't have check
areas.
scanners anywhere, that's for sure. And that's we're not supporting Notre Dame Day. We do not envy you that. So we send you all of our love and blessings as you handle that, but we stay away.
Thank you.
Andrew, what about you? What are some of the particularly unique issues that you have on your side?
Yeah, one of our biggest ones right now that we're struggling with, trying to figure out a better way to handle it, and we've had this many years now. But when we get data from external systems for our constituents, and we have like maybe 1 million constituents now between alumni, parents, and friends in our system, how do we match this data we get from external vendors into the actual constituent in our database? And so matching is what we call that. And they're already in our system. A lot of these constituents in our system are already. So we have to put this data on the right person. And so that's a really challenging thing for our software tools to do. And then we have people that look at those matches and make sure it's a good match too. And that's work for them as well. So it's a challenge we're hoping to get better
Wow,
at
I
this
imagine
year.
there could be,
One of our goals.
so many variables involved in that. I mean, because just match them on name, right? But yeah, I mean, what's that mean?
Yeah.
And is it Bob Smith Jr. or Bob Smith Sr. or Bob Smith from California? And I mean, addresses change. I mean, that's got to be a task and a half right there.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And we have great data. We have people that are really great at making sure our data is super clean in our data integrity teams in development, and they do a great job, but it is challenging. Email address helps a lot, though. I mean, that helps because a lot of times people have unique email addresses, but you're right. The junior, senior, Bob
Yeah.
Smith thing is tough. It's really tough.
Yeah. And you mentioned previously that data has to go through so many like different steps to get to where it has to go. And I can imagine that when things go wrong, maybe that doesn't help too much. And kind of on this topic, can you guys talk about a recent specific challenge or maybe an opportunity? Rose, you mentioned Tango. I don't know if you can elaborate a little more on that.
Yeah, so we that was definitely a challenge. That's when Jeff Faust and I were a team, and Jeff has moved on to OIT, reporting to Andy. A recent challenge was learning and rolling out Tango. I mean, we had no clue. So research had Tango before we did. So we learned a little bit from Gene Pollock originally, and then we reached out to the folks at Tango and, just had to dive in really fast because we were only given 30 days
Wow.
to get it pushed out, to learn it, and to get it implemented. But we made it work, and it's successful. So that was a challenge, but and it was a tight timeline,
Wow.
but we did it. And let's say I would say on the opportunity side, we just recently implemented a Zoom cart in the Sister Jean room, and it was a hit. We got so much positive feedback. We were using a do, learn, do approach. So we provide the concept and are now expanding it to more conference rooms when we are able to spend money again, that is.
So when you say a Zoom cart, I mean, are you talking about like the Zoom room brains, but on a cart instead of physically mounted to the wall?
Yes, yes, that allows
Okay,
us to move it to a different conference room if we need to. So
nice.
yeah, it's really, really nice. We really want to get more of those because we have a lot of conference rooms at Eddy Street.
Mhm.
So the more we can get over there, the better. It's just so user friendly, and everybody just said, "Wow, we need this in every conference room we have." So
Well, yeah, and it seems like, with that number of rooms that you could still have some smaller number of the carts, but still be able to provide them for everybody who needs
Yeah.
them all the time.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. If we could just get more so that they're more, Eddy Street Commons is so large. If we could just get,
Yeah.
be able to move them for several rooms in this area, several rooms in this
Hmm.
area, it would really, really help the department a
Yeah.
lot. Because
What a hit.
everybody, since we are so large, we do have, a lot of people work 3 days in the office and 2 days at home. So there's a lot of Zoom
Mhm.
meetings daily,
Yeah.
all day, and all the different 58 teams. So having more of these carts would really, really help.
Yeah, definitely. What about you, Andrew? What's a recent specific challenge or opportunity?
Yeah, so related to when students are accepted to Notre Dame, the development department begins a relationship process with their
Mhm.
parents. And so what we have to do is we have to collect that parent data and tie it to the student in our systems. And so this year we kind of made that process a little more automated. Some of the challenges with that were the data that's coming to us from is entered by the admitted students and their parents.
Uh-oh.
And so it's like all over the place, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, and so normally we get better data, more consistent data from other systems, but this is all over the place. But we have many parents already in our system, so we go back to that matching thing. That's
Mm.
super critical. So we don't create duplicates of these parents. Then we get the students flowing to us from Banner. So there's a neat integration there from Banner that gives us those students once they've accepted, and we have access to them. And then we create that relationship with their parents in the CRM system that we've matched or created. And then once everything is linked up, this data can be used by the development office to build those relationships with those parents.
Wow.
I can imagine that gets even more complicated when you're talking about like legacies.
Oh,
So
yes.
the parents were here before, so you already have a very rich trove of data on the parents, and now all of a sudden you've got again the Bob Smith issue, right?
Mhm.
The now you've got Bob Smith listed as a parent, but is it the Bob Smith who graduated here, 20 years ago, or is it somebody new? And
That's right. Yeah,
wow,
it
I
works.
do not envy
Yeah.
you the task. I'm glad you have good people doing this.
Yep. Back to our
I dipped my toe into this sort of work several years ago, and I loved it. And yet, I'm just overwhelmed by the amount of data that you're working with and the consistency of that entry.
Yeah.
So
And, as an alumni, you guys do such a wonderful job with all of this and keeping up with family. And I know my dad still receives things at home and he's very happy about that. So I just think that that's so special that you guys get to do all this and build these relationships and just contribute to, like the culture at Notre Dame. That's awesome.
it's very cool. So Rose,
Yeah.
Rose, you've been here a little while. You said 41 years. So I imagine over that time you've developed some experience and done some mentoring and done some, given out a little bit of advice. What advice would you give now as current Rose to just starting out Rose 41 years ago? What would you tell her?
I would say take advantage of all the learning opportunities. Notre Dame has so many learning opportunities. It's endless. So take advantage of all those learning opportunities. That's what I did, and that's how I got from being a front desk receptionist at the Morris Inn to my current role. And network as much as possible. The people everywhere on campus in all the different areas. The more people you know, the more you know about them, the better. And be honest and have fun.
That sounds great to me. And Andrew, what advice would you give to your younger self?
Yeah, so when I got to Notre Dame, I just noticed right away the difference from the corporate world in compassion
Mm,
and just how everybody was so nice to each other. So that would be my thoughts to my younger self. Just make sure every word out of your mouth is measured, has compassion when working with
yeah.
others. The other thing I've thought about a lot is, don't be too critical of an imperfect system or process. You don't really know what all led to getting that system or process in place. Could have been a lot of legacy stuff. So just
Mm,
be really compassionate in that.
Yeah.
right. Also wonderful advice. Thank you
Yeah,
both.
thank you. Okay, it's time for Consultant Quirks, where we ask our guests a few fun rapid fire questions.
All right.
To start off, what fictional character do you identify most with?
I would say Atticus Finch. I deeply value justice and I despise racial prejudice.
Oh man, that was a great book too.
Yeah,
He sets such a strong example.
yeah,
Yes, yes.
it's awesome.
So I went the Marvel route. I went with Hawkeye. He's just a family man. He keeps his team grounded in what's important. I just think that's so cool.
Yeah,
In some ways, we could almost call him like a modern day Atticus Finch, couldn't we? I mean, let's squint a little bit, and I think it works.
all right. If you could have dinner with any person, real or fictional, living or dead, who would it be and why?
I would have to say my mom. She passed away when I was 9 years old. I'd
Oh,
love to know more about her life, her family history, and just simply to be with her
Yeah,
again.
no, that's lovely. Yeah. Sorry to hear
yeah.
you passed when you were so young.
Mhm.
Andrew, who's
This was an easy one for me. I like to sit down with Jesus for a while, and there's just so many fun questions we could talk about and topics and recent events. Wouldn't that just be neat to do? I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be fun.
definitely. If you could swap jobs with anyone for a day, who would it be?
For me, it would be a vet tech. I
Mm.
love animals. And I've had animals my whole life, and their love is unconditional.
Hmm.
So for me, I'd switch with my wife. She's a housewife, and she always says she puts it this way: taking care of our family is her job. I think that's just so
Yeah,
cool.
And it's so important,
very
right?
It's
important.
huge,
I mean,
absolutely
Yeah.
huge. Yeah,
it can easily be undervalued, and we know that it's
Yes,
not.
yeah.
very hard work.
And Andrew, I have to say, I know your wife and your kids, and she does an amazing job because you have an awesome family.
Super blessed. We are amazingly blessed. Yes.
All right. Are you guys ready for Did You Know Tech Edition? This fun little game where I get to quiz the guest and the host about fun tech facts that you might not know you needed.
Yes.
There's an emphasis on the might not know you need it.
Yeah.
That's the
Exactly. Some of these are so random you don't know you need it, but you'll probably remember them as we go
Yeah.
forward. Keep in mind we are keeping score, and up until last episode, Scooter had a perfect score,
Wow.
but is still in the lead with 3 points. Our guests are right behind them, though, with 2 points. And Deanna, you have 1
Oh,
point as of last
okay.
week. So you're still in the mix, but there's time to catch up because the guests
She's
can get 2
new.
points today.
She's
To be
new.
fair, I did
Of
win
course she
1
only has
point for the guest team, so technically I have 2.
You did.
one.
That is
Good,
true.
good.
That is true. All right. Today's question is going to continue with technologies that we use, and seeing how the development office uses quite a bit of Zoom. The question is going to be centered around Zoom. It's multiple choice, but it's not A, B, or C. It's going to be myth or fact.
Mm.
So here's the question, and you guys would just go around the room as quickly as possible and answer myth or fact to this question. When you are using Zoom from a mobile device, you can use it without an app. Myth or fact?
Fact.
Deanna says fact.
I'll say fact.
I'm gonna go with fact.
Scooter's a fact. Andrew's a fact.
I'm a fact.
Like so many other apps, I'm going to guess that it bugs you like crazy to use the app, but I'm going to bet that you don't have to.
Yes.
And I've only used the app, so
All right.
my guess would be myth because I've never done it without the app.
Okay.
Okay, so the correct answer is myth.
Oh.
You do
What?
have to have the Zoom app in order to use it on a mobile device. There is no web portal for mobile.
I thought you could
Oh.
dial in.
You can dial in, but you're not actually using the Zoom video features when you're dialing in.
Oh, so you meant video
you can call in.
features.
Oh,
Well, that would have been nice to know.
I guess I
Listen
could
to her
have
trying to
specified a
weasel her
little bit
way
more.
in now.
Okay.
But from a desktop, from a desktop computer, there's a web link you can use, much like we're using for this particular Riverside app, but you don't need the actual Zoom app installed. But across Notre Dame, we use the Zoom app on our desktops, and then obviously you have to use it on the mobile in order to get the full video capabilities.
Wow.
Lesson learned.
Yes.
The more you know. Again, these interesting facts, you may or may not like them.
So since Rose got it right and Andrew got it wrong, do they have a net zero?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that kind of net narrows out.
I'm
the,
trying
score
to,
for the hosts.
I'm losing my grip here, and I just want to make sure.
But with Rose retiring, I think she might have and more years of service than
Yes.
any of us combined.
He definitely works with Zoom a lot more than I do. So yeah,
All
Yeah.
right.
I say that.
She's got the inside track, so hers
Excellent.
might weigh a little bit more.
All right. So, hey, Rose and Andrew, thank you both so very much for being here with us today. It's been a great pleasure chatting with both of you.
Yes. And
Thank you so much.
congratulations,
Yeah,
Rose.
It's been fun.
Yes,
Yeah, thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you, and thank you for inviting us to be guests.
Our
And
pleasure.
Rose, congratulations on your retirement.
Yes.
Do you have any fun plans starting August 1st?
The month of August, that's why I decided to end July 31st, because I would have spent one full month of the summer doing absolutely nothing.
Yes.
But lounging out at my pool
Yes.
with my little dogs, and
Perfect.
and after that, I'm not really sure. Just being able to do stuff I want to be able to do when I want to do
Yeah.
it.
Work with animals.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
There you go.
eventually, yes.
Nice.
There you go.
If you've got someone you'd like us to interview, just email those ideas to btspodcast@nd.edu. If there's anything else new, exciting, frustrating, or inspiring happening in your IT consultancy world, please share that with us too. We'd love to hear your insights and ideas.
Signing off from behind the screens, IT at ND.
Stay tech savvy, Notre Dame.